Read the disclaimer, 13 and up. Let's talk about Beyblade X and what I want to see them do for the 25th anniversary that could be pretty cool. Also, to make sure to check out mallofbays.com, and it's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. We have pre-orders for Beyblade X still going on. Hello everyone. Let's talk about basically what they've been doing so far. This has been the road to 25th, which so far you've basically seen cool stuff like chibi little art of the previous generations, which looks pretty rad. On the YouTube channel that they made separately, they're uploading the first season and the episodes on there, which I thought was kind of cool promotion. It is not the official 25th anniversary stuff. That's what I want to kind of get into, which is sort of kind of like, what are they going to do? So obviously we don't know. This video is merely speculation. I'll be giving two options. One I think is potentially would be really awesome. The other one is either realistic or it's not. So the first one is the obvious one, which would be what Burst introduced, which was the idea of remakes. So remakes and Burst are essentially more or less the same Beyblade, but just ported to that system in slight modifications, and they'll use parts that are similar to what it would have previously had. That's kind of what I'm going with here. The missing remakes that we never got to that Burst ended off with for the Plastics generation, or I should say the Bucket and Shoot generation, was basically the V2 remakes. We did not hit G Revolution or the Gs. Then after that, there was for Metal Fight. We got to the end of the second season of Metal Fight. There's no 40. So, I mean, the Metal Fight side is pretty easy to do, I would think. Like, they already have metal contact points, so it's kind of like fair game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, so one of the issues you can kind of run into if you're trying to remake these bays in the Beyblade X system is, I don't know if they could even allow the mode change type of stuff, just because of the fact that that feels very complicated with how X is for them to try to pull that off because of how the assembly is. So if they did do it, it would probably be without the mode changes and it would be in a specific mode, which I'll be honest, I think in some aspects it's easier, but in other aspects, the more I think about it, it is a little bit tough. The other parts of how they could maybe do the bottom parts, I don't know. If they want to commit to it, they can. It's not really like Burst was 100% committed to making new parts that were similar to the original. They just picked sometimes parts that were vaguely close to the original. Like Hellkerbeck's having Mobius, which is vaguely close to like Defense Spike. You know, I want to kind of cover the plastic side, because this is where it kind of gets interesting, because, you know, for the Metal Fight side, I think more or less you could pretty much keep the designs, but the plastics one, if they did do it, you know, like, it would probably have to be that the blade is metal, and they would probably have to slightly modify it, so not too off from kind of how we saw in... Now, they can obviously modify the shapes, kind of like what they did with the Burst remakes for the contact points, but I feel like because it's metal, I don't know how much of a design restriction that would be. Like, they'd probably have to get heavily modified. Like, the plastic shapes at metal would be kind of crazy the more that I thought about it. Because I originally thought, oh, no, man, maybe they do a little bit. But then I thought, well, let's look at those shapes. It would probably also have to be, I want to be honest, I think it's very difficult to actually execute it. So I'm not too sure if it's how possible it is really with X. We're not even talking about how accurate they can get the parts, just like how possible at all. So the second option is where they're basically going to be kind of doing this concept that I kind of had. It would be like, they take like Dragoon and Pegasus, they'll still do it, they'll still pay tribute to those ones, but it'll basically kind of be like loosely inspired by them, and it's kind of like this new Bay creation. So my idea would be kind of like in this Photoshop, like Pegasus X, for an example, where maybe it takes certain design aspects of the Pegasuses of the past, but it has a Beyblade X Bay. Maybe like the middle is designed exactly kind of like how they did like the face bolt, right? That'd be pretty cool. Or like Dragoon X, for an example, where like maybe the middle part's kind of designed exactly how they would kind of do like a Bit Beast, but, you know, it'll take inspirations from the Dragoons, but it's not like verbatim, like this is Dragoon G, this is Dragoon GT. So it's like loosely inspired in their style. I thought this would be such a good idea, bro. Like, I think that'd be a pretty cool way to do it, because I don't know how feasible it is to maybe do the remakes. And honestly, I think this would be like a pretty rad way to like pay respects to both of them. I'd be okay with it. It doesn't have to end with just them. It could be other ones in like a similar vein. What do you think of kind of like that idea? Which ideas do you prefer? Obviously, actually, you all know what? What do you think of the second option? Because if I say which options do you prefer, everyone's going to say the first option. No one's going to pick the second option. I thought the second one sounds pretty cool. So what do you think of my pitch? Do you think if they did it, would you be okay with it? Would you like it? I think I would be fine with it. I think it would be really cool to kind of see how they do it. I would hope for maybe paints and maybe stickers. Aside from that, that's kind of it. That's kind of what I would kind of hope to see them do. There's nothing really else to say. Like, I'm really just focusing on like the physical product aspect. I don't know what else they could really do for 25th other than like t-shirts, right? So I want to leave it to you in the comments. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you are new here, and that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and bye.